Hello traders, it's 𝗧𝗿𝗂𝗺𝗺 here. Welcome to today's session. In today's session I'm going to be recapping 4 trades I took when trading the 𝗧𝗿𝗁𝗃 chart. So 4 from 4. Now once again, you can apply my strategies to any market you trade, whether it be futures, forex, or even stocks. Now in this particular one, you may have noticed, if you've received this by email, the subject line was the real secret to long-term trading success. Can you really earn 10,000 a week realistically trading? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it in today's video. Now as always, I do need to pull up the risk disclaimer. There is a risk in trading. Please don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. I now have where I'm emailing out to my database 3 new training videos every week. So you'll see a pop up on your screen very soon where you can subscribe, and 3 times a week directly you'll receive a link to training videos on how I scalp and day trade the markets. Please also give me a big thumbs up down below, because it encourages me to keep making these videos. Now in today's live session, what I meant by that was, what have I been doing today? Because I'm going to be recording a recap from a couple of days ago. So I'm recording this now. It's now just rolled over to Thursday the 11th of June. I'm recording this actually at 1:46 a.m. Central Standard Time. We've actually got the London Open in a few minutes time, in 15 minutes or thereabouts. And so I love to trade the after hours market. And no, you don't have to stay up and wait all night and trade London, because the markets actually close then reopen at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In fact, these trades I took here, the ES, normally of recent times I've really favored the ES as a market, but it was just too fast. We've seen that America started bombing again in Iran. The markets have been going absolutely crazy. Now one of the challenges and this is oil trading CL, one of the challenges is where I'm normally trading 10 contracts. However, oil is quite thinly traded. You've got no problems trading 1 to 5 contracts. Once you get above that, if you're using stop limit orders, well then quite often, and as happened a couple of times today, it went straight through my order and I didn't get filled. Now I still had 3 out of 3, and my target is 250 a day per contract. I achieved that, and then I decided to have a rest for a while. Then, and I'll show you these on the charts in a moment, then come midnight we rolled over. Actually it's still that's Central Standard Time my clock is set to. So here we'd rolled over, that's Eastern Standard Time, the market rolled over, and I fired off another 2 trades on the ES. So it ended up being a good trading day. Now getting back to my claim, can you really earn 10,000 a week? All you need is 5 6-step scalps or 4 7-step scalps a day, and you are set for life. Now it comes down to continuity and having the right setups, and that's the purpose of this session. Now we're now going to look at the recording. Now just before we look at the recording from this is actually recorded on Friday, so just a few days ago, let me just go to the charts themselves, and I just want to show you this. So as I mentioned, we'd rolled over. Now we're into Thursday. It's after midnight, and you can see I took these on Wednesday evening, so 9:41. Very standard setups here. All of these are patterns. I want you to note the 2 lines down here. What they are, they're 2 indicators from a higher time frame telling me to short the market. Short. Over here it's telling me to go short again. Now here I took a short trade here. Thank you very much. I then took another short here, and I got out and I went to jump in on this particular one, and it just went straight through. I didn't get filled. Then I took a quick scalp and I'd hit my 250 a day. I'm a big one traders on POQ, the power of quitting, getting in and getting out. Now this is where we are now, few hours later, and this is what we're looking for, is nice waves in a market. Now for 2 tick, which is what I've got here. And of course you can apply my trading and my setups to tick charts, to time charts, to range, to Renko. It really doesn't matter. I much prefer Renko. It's just smoother and much easier to train traders in how to trade with Renko. But the 2-tick is not always tradable. For an example, in 10 minutes we've got the London Open, so the markets may go crazy. Now we then go to the ES trades I took. So if I just scroll back just before or just after midnight, where are we here? Just quickly go back here. Where are you? Get now, is it on this chart or did I take them on another? Sorry everyone, I just want to show you that hey, I really did take these trades. Here they are. I thought I was going crazy there. Now these ones were actually counter trend trades, and I recommend that brand new traders you stay away from CT trades initially. But this trade I took up here, it looks very messy because of my pivots all rolling over at midnight, but that was a beautiful double top on a higher time frame. Then over here I then had what we call a T10 on a high time frame, which is a reversal signal also. Now we then move along. There's just then a ton, whoops, that should be there. That's just for a training session I'm doing. So just there are a ton of other setups afterwards. Now what you'll notice is generally I'm trading with the trend, and that's what I strongly recommend you do as traders. Trade with the trend. Now let's now go back to these setups here. So this is from Friday, and this was actually quite a tough trading because we were in a sideways market, and this is where we need to be very cautious traders. Okay, and we then rallied up, hit a pivot. So I had one trade there. I then added to that position. I then had a fourth trade here. Then later on I ended up taking this setup. Now why not short just there? Look down below. What can you see here? This is two key indicators from a higher time frame telling me they're going long, and to go short here is dangerous. So I'm looking for EMA bounces traders. So let's quickly have a look at this recording. I just pull that over here. It's popped up on another window. Let's just quickly move that out. Whoops, get that over. As always traders, my videos are raw, real and unedited. Okay, so I've gone long here, and I've actually had already entered a trade, and I was in that down here, and I've gone long again. And the reason I've gone long is I've got a number of indicators on higher time frames now pointing up. This generally is quite a danger zone. In fact, if you had have taken this trade here, that may have been a loss, but you were buying directly into what we call pivots. Now if you're brand new to trading, a couple of hours of training on these indicators, and it's really straightforward. Now I want you to notice here the white arrows, the black arrows, and the white paint bars. They're sort of giving me or confirming my trade entry. Now normally we would not add to a position unless you're in the green, that is you're already making money, or you're risking less than 2%. As day traders and scalpers, we never ever want to risk more than 2% of our account size. Forget 5% traders. You go and have 3 or 4 losses, you've lost 15 to 20% of your capital, and it does your head in. It's not healthy. So you've got the huge advantage now where you can start on the micro contracts and build. Okay, so up here as always I'm targeting 325 a day per contract. I won't get into why. I've just got different targets. It comes down to the time frame I'm trading, and I generally don't want to be trading any more than about an hour. So I want to get in, get out, get paid. I'll just move this along. So we've hit the my target there a couple of times. We're still not filled, and this is the challenge when you buy and sell into pivots, by the way. Now just above me up there I've got the current day's high. Pivots and your current day's high and low act like price magnets. We buy and sell into those levels all the time. Now I'm using a maximum of a 10 tick stop loss. That's the maximum I'll use, and I try to get away with an 8 tick stop loss. And I was just pointing out that my stop is well and truly under the EMAs. Now you can use a range of EMAs, and links will do a similar thing. So now I'm filled on my first contract. Now I'm now considering going to break even. Now I can't remember what I did. A day in the life of a trader, you don't remember what you did yesterday unless you're reviewing your trading notes here. So I'm going, no, not going to break even. So I'm still not sure. I'm thinking about this. So this is the first two trades of a day. You know, I've got a target there of 32.50 or 325 per contract. So let's just see what I end up doing here. Okay, so now I'm getting a pullback. Now I'm now increasing my target, because what happens quite often when you don't push through a pivot and you bounce, we quite often will come back and then have another rally up into the pivot. So I'll move it along so we're not here all day. Pivots are incredibly powerful for acting as what we call price magnets. You can buy into pivots. You can also trade the pivot bounces, and divergence trades are brilliant. If you've got a divergence trade off a pivot, you've got maximum resistance above, that's a huge thumbs up for your trader. It really is. So let's just move this along. So here I've increased my target again, so I'm one tick below the current day's high. Now that's what we call front running. Front running is where, with either pivots or high or the low of day, I look at getting out before everyone else, because everyone, I say everyone, the majority of traders here, and I've decided to get out here a little bit early, the majority of traders here, and you can see we're just bouncing off it. Not surprising, by the way. Why is that? Well, we've got a pivot. We tested that a number of times. So a simple rule is, if ever you're buying or selling into pivots or into major EMAs, what I recommend you do is you get to break even as soon as you can. Okay, or even consider covering. Now yes, sometimes you'll get through a few ticks, other times you'll fly through, but just be aware, overall traders, that pivots can be quite dangerous. Well, they can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Okay, they're easy to learn how to trade and they kick butt. Okay, so here I've got, I call this a T20, and see the two indicators down here. That's sort of telling me to go short here. I'd had a wave in the market, and that's what we love to see, waves in the market. So let me just move this along here. Okay, so tough trading at the moment I'm putting in here, so I'm out. And the reason I'm saying it's tough is look how flat we are. I recommend all new traders sit on hands until you start getting waves in the market. Now I know I had so I'm going to take this short here. Now sometimes I'll put an order in like this, and then something may happen and I'll change my mind and pull the order off. But I've got a set rule on how to put these in place. Okay, and just note here on the anchor chart, the higher time frame, that is pointing down here. It's an incredibly valuable tool. And note down here, I've got pivots. We've got yesterday's close, the current day's open, and they make great price magnets. Now just note here my entry, and I'm waiting to tick through, and now I've ticked through that target, and that was a really classic entry. We had, it's called a fanning of the EMAs. Thank you very much. And then later on I then had where was that? Yes, and then later on in the day, actually we'd gone past what time was that one? That was probably about half an hour later or so, 45 minutes later, I then took this trade here. So this is what we call a T20 trend continuation setup. Now why not go short here? We could have taken these shorts here, which would have been great. Now normally on POQ, that is, once I get to 32.50, I'm happy to stop. But here I decided to take this one here. I want you to also notice you have divergence in the direction of the trend on top of that. Now I'm now up to 15 minutes, so I won't keep going, but traders, there are just a ton of opportunities in the market each and every day. If one market's too fast, we look for another one. You can trade these setups, and you see that all of my trading is either in the New York afternoon before the market closes, because that's early, that's 4 a.m. my time onwards, or I trade 6 p.m. onwards. That's providing I'm not in the running the live trading room. Now, just very quick advertisement. If you really like what you see, traders, down below, or first of all, make sure you register for my free newsletter, because with that newsletter, it's really it's these trade recaps which are invaluable for traders. Now, for $297, you can get a lifetime access to my program. It's probably the most comprehensive scalpers and day trading program globally. Plus you get 1 month to my private group coaching sessions, 8 2-hour sessions a month, and 12 sessions in my live coaching trading room. 12 sessions, that's 3 a week. And even if you can't make those sessions, you can play them back. And that is where of course you've got all of my indicator settings. If you've got NT8, everything here is included. If you don't have NT8, I give you the indicator settings that I use, so you can basically set up any trading platform. But what's invaluable, $297, you get everything plus effectively 40 hours over a month of coaching, of live coaching, 8 2-hour sessions and 12 2-hour live trading room sessions. So if you're serious excuse me, about a career as a day trader, either part-time or full-time, in the description below, come and join me in my live trading room and the coaching room and in my program. Thank you, traders. So just remember, your best setups are when you're trading off trending EMAs, when we've got what we call slingshot setups. And don't forget your pivots. Look what happened there. You bounced off your pivot there, you bounced off your pivot here. And so we call these, there's a setup T28s and pivot magnet trades. I give them codes. It just makes it a lot easier when I'm talking to members. But traders, they're very high probability. So we're 18 minutes in, I should say. Thank you, traders. Look forward to seeing you on my classes.